Hello guys, welcome to another session. We are discussing numerical and budgets. We have seen sales budget, we have discussed production units budget, we have discussed production cost budget, and in the last class we have done a couple of problems on material budget and material cost budget. So to continue with that, I think we finished 9th question in the previous class. So you have to see D27 page for the 10th question, which starts there and it continues in the document which I've just sent in your class groups. So question number 10, you can see, I'll just read it. The following details apply to an annual budget for a manufacturing company. He gave you 4 quarters. First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, 4 quarters. Number of working days is given and production units is also given. So from this we can actually find out, just multiply with the number of working days. So in first quarter you're planning to work for 65 days and each day you're planning to produce 100 units. So 65 into 100, 6,500 units is the production in the first quarter. Like that you can get for each quarter. Continuing in today's document, he says raw material purchases percentage by weight of the annual output, annual total is 30% in the first quarter at 1 rupee, 50% in the second quarter at 1.05, 20% in the third quarter at 1.125, and fourth quarter they are not purchasing any material. Okay, the budgeted rates are given, that is 1 rupee in the first quarter, 1 rupee 5 paise in the second quarter, 1 rupee 12.5 paise in the third quarter. Then the quantity of raw material per unit of production is 2 kilos. That means for each unit of a product they require 2 kgs of raw material. Budgeted opening stock of raw material is 4,000 kilos, the cost of which is 4,000 rupees. That means per kg it is 1 rupee. Budgeted closing stock of raw material is 2,000 kgs. And issues are priced on FIFO basis. Do you all know what is FIFO? I think you have done your cost accounting. FIFO stands for?
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you mean?
First in, first out.
First in, first out. So he is saying that the issues are priced on FIFO basis, that is first in, first out basis. That means whatever material you have bought first will be issued to production first. So if anything is remaining, should be from the recent purchase stock. That's the logic there. Calculate the following budgeted figures. One is quarterly and annual purchases of raw material by weight and value. Closing quarterly stocks by weight and value. So I'll take the first part, quarterly and annually purchase of raw material by weight and value. Now, so before we go for the purchases, do we have the opening stock of raw material? Yes, sir, it is 4,000 kilos. Do you have the closing stock of raw material? Yes, sir, we have 2,000 kilos. And do you know what is the total purchases? We don't know. But do you know production? Yes, sir, he gave quarterly production. So we can do like this. This is question number 10. Can you see this? Yes. 10th question. You have given the first quarter, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. The 4 quarters data. And you told me that working days are 65 and production per unit is 100. So I think I can find out the production. I'll add one more column here as total. Hope you can see that. Yes. The production is, I'm just writing in the brackets the formula what we are applying. The days multiplied by production per day. Production per day. So it is days multiplied by production per day. So in first case, it is 65 into 100. It is 6,500 units. In second case, it is 60 into 110. It should be 6,600 units. 55 into 120. 120, 66. Again, it is 6,600 units in the third quarter. 60 into 105. So 105 into 60, if you do, you should be getting 6,300. So it should be 6,300. Okay. So this is your quarter 3. This is your quarter 4. All right. So you can simply add this total and you can say like this is the total quantity. And now once you have the production, See, I already told you from sales information, you can find out the production. And once you know the production units, you can find out the raw material requirement. So how do you find out the raw material requirement? First, you require consumption. Consumption of raw material. This is the production units multiplied with 2. Why am I saying 2? Because if you see the document, he says the quantity of raw material per unit of production is 2 kilos. So 6,500 into 2. It is 13,000 kilos. 6,600 into 2. 13,200 kgs. 13,200 kgs. 6,300 into 2. 12,600 kgs. Now I know the consumption, right? So what is the total? If you just add these totals and tell me 6, 12, 18, 24, 25, 2, 25, 2, 25, 5, 26,000 units. Okay. Or, yeah, this plus this plus this plus this, or simply 26,000 into 2 will give you 52,000 kilos of raw material. Now, what did you ask me to find out? The first question says quarterly and annually purchase of raw material by weight and value. Oh my God, it is not asking consumption. He's asking. Somebody is speaking. Can you please keep it on mute? Yeah. So now what I have to do is how much I am purchasing. If you look at the purchases percentage is given to you. You're purchasing 30%, 50%, 20%. Do you know what your total consumption of raw material is? 52,000. But do you know what is the total purchases required? No, I don't know. So I think I will take a working notes here before I proceed. I don't have the space, so I'm trying to do it here. If you remember your purchase budget, we start with consumption. Consumption of raw material is 52,000 kilos, right? Then add closing stock of raw material, which is given in the question. You can go back to the question and see the budgeted closing stock of raw material is 2,000 kilos. So totally how much you have? 54,000. See, you're consuming 52,000 kilos and you wanted another 2,000 at the end. That means totally you need 54,000 kilos. But you already have an opening stock. So minus opening stock of raw material is given as 4,000 kilos. So 54 minus 4 gives me 50,000 kgs. This is your total purchases. What did I get? I got 50,000 kilos to be purchased. This is our information because you gave me percentage of purchases, but on what I should apply? I should apply on 50,000. So I'm erasing that part of working so that I can continue with my table. So remember, we are buying 50,000 kilos of raw material in 1 year. And in which quarter, how much you are purchasing? So it is, the percentage is given as 30% here in the first quarter, 50% in the second quarter, 20% in the third quarter. So this itself makes 100%. So this is nothing here. So that is 100%. Now purchases in kilos. If you take, I will take the total, not this one, the total purchases. The total purchases is 50,000. 50,000 kgs into the purchase percentage. Okay, guys, 50,000 kilos into the purchase percentage. That 50,000, how did I get? I think now you understood. That is the total purchase. Okay, guys. So now let me come back to this. So I know that the total purchase is 50,000 into 30%. 50,000 into 30%. By 3 is 15,000 kilos. It has started. Yeah. Then 50% of 50,000 is 25,000 kgs here. And 50,000 into 20% is 10,000 kgs. In the fourth quarter, actually, I'm not buying anything, so it is nil. You can just check 15 plus 25 plus 10 should be equal to your 50,000 kgs. This is your 100% purchase. All the three figures are in front of you. I am going to produce 26,000 units in this year, for which I require 52,000 kilos of raw material, and I am going to buy 50,000 only because I have some opening stock of 2,000 and I want a closing stock of 4,000, 2,000, whatever it is. And he says, the first part of the question says, you have to tell me the quarterly and annually purchase. The quarterly purchases are there, annual purchases are there. By weight, I have done it in kilos, and by value, I want it in rupees. So raw material cost. So it is what? Per kg is already given to us. What is the per kg? Here it is 1 rupee. Here it is 1 rupee 5 paise. Here it is 1 rupee 12.5 paise. And here it is not possible because you have not purchased anything. So I cannot write here the total of per units. Now the raw material purchase cost. Raw material purchase cost. Can you see that? Just put it down. Now what you have to do, 15,000 into 1 rupee. So this is I just multiply this with this. 15,000 into 1, it is 15,000 rupees. This is rupees. This is kilos. 25,000 into 1.05. I don't know how much it should be getting. 525 should be 6,250. So 26,250 is what the answer says. Please check it. And here it is 10,000 into 1.125 should be equal to 11,250. And here it will be nil. And you can simply add this because you don't have the rate here. You cannot put a rate here and multiply 50,000. It is 15 plus this plus this. You can simply write here the total. Is it okay? That is the first part of the question. This is A part. A part. Part A of the question says quarterly and annually purchase of raw material. I hope you have understood this. Now, once we are done with this, look at the second part of the question. He's asking closing quarterly stocks by weight and value. He wants closing stocks. See, purchases are already with you. Purchase cages are already with you. 15, 25 and 10. 15, 25, 10 and 0. We have quarterly purchases. But he wants you to tell what will be the closing stock and which method they are following, first in, first out. So you have to keep this point in mind before we start doing this. Let me clean this. I'm doing the B part of it. Now, so B bit of the 10th question. Closing quarterly stocks by weight and value. Guys, you must be knowing that we say opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock or consumption. If you take whatever you consume, what you have plus what you have bought, the purchases minus what you consume will give you closing stock, correct? Opening stock plus purchases minus sales is closing stock. Instead of sales, we are using consumption because it is raw material. We don't sell it. Now, on this logic, I will take quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4 data. I'm applying the same logic here. I want to find out what is the opening stock of each quarter, then what is the purchases of each quarter. I'll be getting the totals here. Then I deduct the consumption of each quarter. When I deduct the consumption, I get closing stock of each quarter. I hope you understood this. Normally we use the same thing. We say consumption plus closing minus opening gives you purchases. But in this problem, he's not asking you to purchase, which you already found in the first bit. We got this. So you can go back to the previous solution. I think in the first quarter, we were purchasing 15,000 kgs. I'm just copying it from the previous part of the question. Second quarter, our answer was how much? 25,000 kgs. In the third quarter, our answer was 10,000 kilos we were purchasing, and in the fourth quarter, we were not buying anything. This is what we have. All right. Now, do you have the consumption of each quarter? You can refer back to the consumption part of each quarter. The consumption part also we have, that is 6,500 into 2, that is 13,000 kilos here. Please check your previous part. Then 6,600 into 2, that is 13,200. 6,600 into 2, 13,200 here, and 6,300 into 2, 12,600. Okay, this is what I have. I have the purchases of all the quarters. I have the consumption of all the quarters. Then the student will say, sir, how can you consume 12,006 kgs when nothing you bought? Wait, we have opening stocks and closing stocks, right? Now, do you know the opening stock for the entire year and closing stock for the entire year means? Yes, you can see the budgeted opening stock of raw material is 4,000 kilos. Budgeted opening stock is 4,000 kilos. This I know. And the budgeted closing stock of raw material is 2,000 kilos. So last quarter closing stock of last quarter is 2,000 kilos. This is 2,000. This is in front of you. Now let us see. Out of 4 figures, if you know 3, you can find out the 4th, right? So this is the opening stock. This is the closing stock. These are the quarterly purchases. These are the quarterly consumptions. Do you agree with me? Now, 4,000 you have plus 15,000 kilos if you buy. How much you'll have? It will be 19,000 kgs of raw material. In that 19,000, if you consume 13,000, what will be the closing stock? You will be left out with 6,000, right? Now think and tell me, the closing stock of the first quarter will automatically become the opening stock of next quarter, correct? The closing stock of the first quarter will automatically become the opening stock of next quarter. So the 6,000 of first quarter closing will become the second quarter opening. So I copy here 6,000. Now again I have the same thing. I have 3 figures, so I can find out the 4th one. 6,000 you have at the beginning of the second quarter plus 25,000 kilos if you buy, you will have 31,000 kilos. Out of 31,000 kgs, if you are consuming 13,200 kilos, how much stock you'll be having with? You calculate this, 17,800 should be. Now the same logic applies. The closing stock of second quarter becomes the opening stock of third quarter. So I bring this 17,800 here. Correct? Now 17 plus 10, 27,800 minus 13,200. It is 14,600, 14,600. Now same logic I apply here. The closing stock of third quarter will become the opening stock of fourth quarter. 14,600 kgs of opening stock plus how much you have purchased? Nothing. So this total is 14,600 minus 12,600 gives you 2,000, and it's already given in the question. So this is what is your closing stocks of each quarter. But the problem is not completed there. What did he ask? He said, you please tell me the closing stock. Yes, I have told you. What else he wants? He wants the value of the closing stock. Now guys, listen carefully. You are applying the first in first out concept. How many units you have? 4,000. And how many purchase? 15. So out of 19, if you have consumed 13, okay? Now this 13 should be definitely, first you will consume this 4,000, then only you will take from 15,000. That is what is first in first out. 13,000 may, first you will finish off this 4,000, remaining 13 minus 4 is 9,000. First 4,000 you have taken from the opening stock, remaining 9,000 you have taken from 15. 15 minus 9 gives you 6. So this 6,000 is out of this 4,000 or out of this 15,000 is a question. Obviously 6,000 is out of 15,000. Why am I saying this? Because the rate per unit, the rate per kg in the first quarter is 1 rupee because you purchased at 1 rupee. So the value is, I think you cannot see this. So value of this raw material purchased. So So value of raw material purchased is 6,000 into 1 rupee, that is 6,000 rupees. Now let us see here. 6,000 is of 1 rupee rate. Then you purchase 25,000. So total you have 31,000. Out of this you have used 13,200. 13,200 means 6,000 is there or not? It will be definitely there. So the 6 is got completed. Now whatever you have remaining 17,800 is out of 25 only. 6,000 is less than 13. So all 6,000 is consumed. So whatever is remaining here is definitely out of this 25,000. At what rate did you buy the second quarter raw material? The purchase rate is given in the question as 1.05. So the rate I'll put is 1.05 and multiply 17,800 with 1.05 should be giving you 18,000. What is the answer saying? 18,690. It should be 18,690. Please check the answer. This multiplied with this. Coming to the next quarter. How much is the opening stock? 17,800. How much did you buy? 10,000. So out of 27,800, how much did you consume? 13,200. Now look at this. Out of 17,800, did you consume all 17,800? Answer is no. Out of this 17,800, you consumed only 13,200. Correct? So 17,800 may say 13,200 is gone. So how much is remaining? I write here 17,800 may say, this is for the third quarter. 17,800 may say I consumed only 13,200. That means remaining 4,600 kgs of old material. Old stock is there. Now what is old stock for quarter 3 is quarter 2. Quarter 2 purchase rate is 105. So 4,600 is valued at 105. Out of this 14,600, 4,600 is the old stock. Remaining 10,000 is the new stock. So 10,000, here I am writing it clearly. 4,600 is multiplied at old rate plus 10,000 is multiplied at new rate. I think it is 1.125. So when you take this 4,600 to 1.05 plus 10,000 to 1.125 together, it should give you 16,080. Right? And then coming to the last quarter, nothing is purchased in this quarter. So all the stock which is 14,600 is the old stock only, which is purchased at 1.125. When that 12,600 is closed, so remaining 2,000 is definitely old stock which is purchased at 1.125. Multiply with that, you'll be getting 2,250. According to me, this problem is the difficult problem when compared to all other problems in this chapter. You have to spend a lot of time in understanding this question. Probably you take this question and do it 3 times to understand it properly. Okay, this is all about your question number 10. Just erase this. All right. Coming to question number 11. Question number 11 is Sangrila Food Products Limited has prepared the following sales budget for the first 5 months of 1993. He gave you the sales budget January, February, March, April, May. So he has given you 5 months budget. So on today, the inventory of finished products at the end of every month is to be equal to 25% of the sales estimate of the next month. Okay, so inventory of finished goods. So finished goods will be equal to 25% of the next month sales. On January 1st, 1993, there were 2,700 units of products in hand. That's opening stock of finished goods. There's no work in progress at the end of every month. Thank you. Every unit of raw material requires 2 types of material. Sorry, every unit of product requires 2 types of material. Material A 4 kilos and material B 5 kilos. That is given in units. And material equal to 1/2 of the next month production are to be in hand at the end of every month. This requirement was met on 1st January 1993 also. Prepare a material budget for the first quarter of 1993 in a logical form showing the quantities of each type of material to be purchased. All right. You have been given sales. So go back to the theory, what I told you. If you have sales, first try to come to the production. From there, you try to come to consumption. From there, you come to purchase budget. So the first thing what we have to do is we have to find out the production. For me, in this 11th question, you gave me the sales information, and so I'm trying to find out the production. So the first thing I'm going to prepare is the production budget. Sir, you didn't ask production budget. Yes, I know that. But unless and until I prepare production budget, I would not know the consumption part. So we have different months, that is January, February, March, April, and May information is given. You can see that. And sales. What is the formula for obviously finished goods? Sale of finished goods plus closing stock of finished goods minus opening stock of finished goods gives me production of finished goods. Okay, so let us do this. My sales of January are 10,800. Of February it is 15,600. March it is 12,200. April it is 10,400. And May it is 9,800. The inventory of finished goods, if you look at the question, it says the inventory of finished product at the end of every month is to be equal to 25% of the sales of the next month. So what is the closing stock of the first month? The closing stock of the first month will be equal to 25% sales of the next month. I have a calculator here. So it is 25% of, what should I do? January's closing stock is equal to 25% of next month's sales. Okay, so 15,600 into 25% gives me 3,900. So for February, closing stock will be equal to 25% of this. So 12,200 into 25% gives me 3,050. March 25% will go here. April 10,400. 10,400 into 25% gives me 2,600. May's 25%, 9,800 into 25% is 2,450. For May, I don't have the June's sales, so therefore I'll stop it here. In fact, the question is asking you to for the first quarter only. I want information only up till here. It's okay. If I have the April months, I'll tell you where it is required. But May, it is not possible to find out because I don't have the sales of June. All right. So closing stock of each month is 25% of next month, 25% of next month, 25% of next month, 25% of next month. He didn't speak anything about the opening stock, but he told that we are having 2,700 units of product in hand on 1st January. So opening stock is given as 2,700. In fact, even if this was not given, we would have calculated. We have done it in the earlier problems. Now, what about February opening stock? February opening stock is nothing but January's closing stock. Last month closing is this month opening. So bring it here. It is 3,900. This will come here 3,050. This will come here 2,600, and this will come here 2,450. That's all. What you have the sales, you have closing stock, you have the opening stocks. So sales plus closing stock minus opening stock, that is 10,800 plus 3,900 minus 2,700 gives me 12,000 units will be produced in January. This one, 15,600 plus 3,050 minus 3,900, it is 14,750. This one, 12,200 plus 2,600 minus 3,050 gives me 11,750. Then this month, 10,400 plus 2,450 minus 2,600. A student will say, sir, why are you doing it for the 4th month, sir? We only want information for the first quarter. No problem. We can find out because all the data is there. I calculated. Not only this, it is necessary for us, and I'll tell you how. Because once you have the production, Okay, once you have the production, you can find out the raw material requirement or the consumption, because this is for each type of a product, for each unit of a product, 2 types of material is required. Material A is 4 units, material B is 5 units. So I'm trying to do for material A, you can in fact do it for material B. Okay, in the same process. I'll keep the production to copy once again. So I have to find out consumption of raw material A, B, month, production. This is finished goods. This is raw material A. This is raw material B. We know that you require 4 kilos of raw material A and 5 kilos of raw material B. I know for January, February, March and April, I have to stop it with April because I have only 4 months data. I have the production of 12,000, 14,750, 11,750, 10,250. So I think I can erase this now. Yeah. All this multiplied with 4 gives me the consumption of raw material A, and all this multiplied with 5 gives me the consumption of raw material of B. So this 4 into 12,000 gives me 48,000. 4 into 14,750 gives me 59,000 kilos. 4 into 11,750 gives me 47,000. And 4 into 10,250 gives me, 4 into 10,250 gives me 41,000. Similarly, you have to do it for 5. 12 into 5, 12, 60,000 kilos. 14,750 into 5, 73,750. 11,750 into 5, 58,750. 10,250 into 5, it is 51,250. Now you have the consumptions in front of you. This is the second part. You have given me sales. From there I could find out the production. From production I could find out the consumption. And what next? You can go for raw material budget. So what I do, I'll keep this A here because I'm preparing for A. You can do it for B. This is A, raw material consumption. So I'm preparing raw material budget for material A. This is my consumption for each month. Month is January, February, March and April. You may say, sir, why are you doing for April? This is not required, but we will consider it. Maybe you need not show it in the exam, but how it is helping us. Plus closing stock of raw material minus opening stock of raw material gives me purchases. Opening plus purchase minus closing gives you consumption. Consumption plus closing minus opening gives you purchases. Now, how do you find out the closing stock of raw material? If you look at the last but one paragraph, he says material equal to 1/2 of the next month production are to be in hand at the end of every month. Remember guys, closing stock of raw material will be 1/2 of the next month production. Generally what intelligent students will do, I'm saying very specifically, intelligent students, what mistake they will do is, when they read this sentence, they say, sir, he said material 1/2 of the next month production are to be in hand. Next month production may half. So people go and check the production. Forget it. You have to just check the raw material, the consumption part only, because based on your production only your consumption will be, right? So half of this will be here, half of this will be here, and half of this will be here. That is why we want it for the 3 months. So half of 59, it should be 29,500. Half of 47 is 23,500, and half of 41 is 20,500. 46, 47, 58, 59. Right. What about closing stocks? This will come here, 29,500. This will come here, 23,500, because the previous month closing stock is this month's opening stock. Sir, what about the opening stock of January? If you remember, this is what you need to understand here. Opening stock of January will be equal to closing stock of December, right? Because opening stock of February is closing stock of January. Opening stock of March is closing stock of February. Opening stock of February is closing stock of January. Opening stock of January will be closing stock of December. All right. How did you get this closing stocks? Half of next month production, half of next month production, half of next month production. So definitely December closing stock will be half of January's production, January's consumption. I'm straight away writing consumption. What is January's consumption? 48,000. So 48,000 into half is 24,000. So half of 48,000, that is equal to 24,000. So bring it here, 24,000. So this working is important here. Now you have the consumption, you have the closing stock, you have the opening stock. This plus this minus this. So it is 48,000 plus 29,500 minus 24,000 gives me 53,000 kilos, 53,500 kgs. 59 plus 23,500 minus 29,000 should give me 53,000. 6,000 down. 47 plus 20,500 minus 23,500. So 3,000 down, it should be 44,000. So when you add this, is 33610, 350. I think your answer should be 1,50,500. Your answer is 1,50,500 kilos will be purchased. This is only I did for material A. You have to do it on the same lines for material B also. All right. So this problem and the previous problem, they are a little lengthy. So you spend some time in understanding these questions. So take your time to understand this. So I'll stop it here. Thank you all.